Today I am having my makeup done by Tiopo Artistry. I am super pumped. Ashley is one of the best makeup artists in Canada and she's working out of Winnipeg, Manitoba. You can see her work is stunning. The skin still looks like skin. She does a nice smoky eye and that's what she's going to be doing on me today. So I'm going to keep a lot of the footage in this video so you guys can really see the full look, everything she used, how she blended everything. So let's get right into the video.
So I did one of my signature looks on her. We went for a little bit more of a brownie with a little bit of a purple undertone on her eyes, and obviously the shimmer because I'm obsessed with shimmer. So just look down for me. So yeah, we just created this look. If you would like to see how we created this look, then keep watching. And I typically like to use a brush for this, but I like to get right into the inner corner here. And then I always use a dry sponge and I blend all the product until it's seamless. And just open your eyes, look straight ahead. Perfect. And close. So I'm going to be using the Soft Glam palette, and I think I'm still going to do something fairly neutral, but a little smokier, just to shazam things up a little bit. And open again, and look straight ahead. Yeah. And close. Okay, so I've been obsessed with this Morphe brush. It's the M504. Have you seen this brush before?
Yes, I have this one.
Oh,
so good.
It's so good. For everyone who's watching, you need this brush.
Yes, it's so good.
It's so good. It just does all the work for you. It blends all the eyeshadows out, and it just creates a very seamless, like, smoky eye.
Totally.
And open again, straight.
And you can see that Ashley is going in at the back of the lid and then just blending that color a little bit throughout the crease. So she's really depositing the color when she has a ton on the brush at the back and then just blending it throughout. Just building that color up slowly but surely, keeping it mostly at the back of the lid and then slightly just blending it forward throughout the crease. One of my favorite things when I meet up with makeup artists is talking products. So at this point, we're pretty much just talking, which products do you have in your kit? Which products do you love? What do you use for mature skin? We are just nerding out about makeup. I had so much fun with Ashley doing my makeup. I hope this came across in the video because we really had a great time. As you can see, Ashley is just getting me to open my eye periodically so she can see where the eyeshadow is falling when my eye is open. And then she's just going back in and just building up those colors really nice, creating a really soft, smoky look for the eyeshadow. Ashley does a lot of layering of eyeshadow and I really like this because she was right, it comes across amazing on camera. The more layering, the more it just picks up on camera and looks so glam. Now she's just going to go in with the shimmer color that she's using on the lids and just kind of tap this all over the lid. Also, I will have all of the products that she used on my face listed in the description bar below. So if you guys are interested, you can head there and just check out. I know we mentioned a brush earlier and I didn't put it on the screen, but it will be listed below as well if you guys are interested in anything. Then after she does this, she goes in with a bit of a denser brush and she just deposits a little bit of the darker pigment at the back of the eye. I love how she does this because it really gives a nice depth to the eyeshadow look. You can see that she continues to build that color more and more at the back of the lid to really deepen the eyeshadow. Ashley is really big on perfecting brows, so you can see she's going in with a concealer underneath the brow and just making sure that it's nice and crisp after she does the eyeshadow. I have no idea of what we're talking about here, but you can tell that I am really into it as I am talking constantly. So I'm sorry that you have to see my lips moving, but again, we just had so much to talk about, both being makeup artists. We love talking products, so that's pretty much what we were doing the whole time. She really takes her time when she's doing the brows, and I appreciate that. I like when people take their time, they get it right, they make sure everything is looking perfect before they move on to the next step. That is one of my favorite qualities in a makeup artist.
So I'm just concealing around the brows right now. I'm just using Studio Finish Concealer, which is a bit of a creamier concealer that I can clean up the under brow with and just on top.
Then she's just going to take eyeliner, and I like how she doesn't do eyeliner in one swoop. She really is just doing little sections and then connecting the little sections. I do this as well, and I feel like it's the best way to get a straight line. I really loved how she did the wing on the liner. It was interesting to me that she first had me actually open the eye, and that's where she kind of stenciled out where the wing should go with the eye open, and then she had me close and kind of continue to draw and define the wing. I thought that was really interesting, and that's definitely something that I'm going to try on clients as well. Then she goes in with a Q-tip and makes sure that that wing is really nice and crisp and that all of the eyeshadow fallout has been taken off from the eye as well. Then she's going to go with my lashes. These are in the style La Boheme, and she's going to apply them directly on top of my eyes.
I usually get really I don't know, I get scared to hold babies sometimes.
Yeah.
I have to be on a bed or something. I feel like they're going to fall out of my
Oh, I hear you.
Straight.
And then Ashley's just going to go in and she's going to apply my foundation. For this video, she is using the Makeup Forever HD foundation. This one is such a good foundation. It's meant to be on HD, so it's meant to be on video, on camera, and this one is definitely a staple in my kit as well. You can see that, interestingly, she actually applies it with a brush, a foundation brush, and then she'll go in with just a sponge, actually not even a damp beauty blender or anything, but just a straight up sponge, and she will just kind of blend around the edges of the foundation. I found this really interesting because I do tend to use a beauty blender myself, but this is an interesting technique. Then you can see she's doing concealer right underneath my eye, and she is using the Tarte Shape Tape Concealer, applying it with a brush and then going in with a sponge and blending it out.
I just do Shape Tape underneath the eyes. I pull it really tight towards the nose and I pull it all the way out. And then I take the dry sponge. Do you guys have Sally's Beauty Supply there?
We do.
The Sally's Beauty Supply sponges are really great. They're super cushiony.
Yeah, it's like a pillow.
Yeah, it's like a pillow.
Yeah.
And what's great is that you could just dispose of them afterwards.
Totally.
And it works almost just as well as a beauty blender.
And I can see that the angles are really helpful for getting into that area.
Yeah, like right close,
Totally.
so I'm not having to pinch too much.
Totally.
Oh my gosh, so cute. Okay,
Looks nice.
Yeah, I bet. It's so rewarding being a mom.
Oh my god, it is.
I can't even say from first experiences, but like just seeing moms and my mom even, like, you know, you have a strong appreciation for everything they've done for you.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
And then when it's you, you're like, oh my gosh, my mom did so much.
Mm-hmm.
She is an angel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, let's go around the sides of my nose.
And do you like to go a shade lighter? Do you like to go the same shade? What's kind of your...
I always go like one shade lighter.
Yeah, just to do that highlight.
Yeah.
Will you still do that even on like mature skin?
Yes, in a way. Sometimes actually no.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, because underneath their eyes, they sometimes, have a lot of like, you know, fine lines or wrinkles. So I don't want to accentuate that.
Totally.
So we kind of just do it the same color. All right, and look all the way up. So I'm going to use a little bit of the RCMA No Color Powder.
Such a good one.
I know.
That's so good.
Oh yeah. And then I just pat that in with a dry sponge, not a beauty blender. And I just tap that in. And then I use another side and I just pick off any excess powder. Look straight.
What do you do for your clients who are super oily? Like in like an hour, they're oily basically.
Well, I always set the T-zone. If they tell me that they're super, super oily, I'll end up bringing all the powder all the way in here. And then I use some like, I have a couple of like Neostrata primers or like skincare stuff that I use.
You do.
Yeah, if they tell me I get really, really oily, then I do like a full prep.
Because some people, it's like it's not like by the end of the day, it's like a couple hours and you're already seeing like, oh my goodness, I need to like blot you or something.
Yeah, yeah. Use a little bit of mineralized skin finish to set the rest of the face and look straight ahead. Yeah.
Then she's taking more of this mineralized skin finish by MAC and she's applying it with actually an eyeshadow brush right underneath the eye, and she's doing a little bit of blending back and forth, working that product in underneath the eye and around the nose. I found this was very interesting actually. I would never go in with an eyeshadow brush to apply powder underneath the eye. So this was a very interesting technique. You can see that she's also cleaning up the eyeshadow at the back of the eye as well, which I thought was a really good idea of just keeping that really clean at the back of the eye so you could really see that crisp line. Then she's taking the Shade and Light palette by Kat Von D and she's just carving out my cheekbones a little bit with one of the contour shades in the palette. She's really building up this color, so she does go in to do a couple layers on both sides of my face. You can see that she's really focusing the product at the back, almost right near the ear. And I do this as well, actually, because this creates a nice depth. You kind of want it to be darker near the ear. And then as you get towards the center of the face, you want it to be a little bit lighter. She's going underneath my jawline as well. And she does my temples with this contour shade.
This way slightly.
How do you feel about nose contour? I feel like that's what I get so many questions about nose contour.
I love nose contour.
It's the best.
It's so good. It just makes a difference, even if you have a really, even though your nose shape is still very slim, like it does make a difference in photos, and I think that's why I do it.
I love how minimal your kit is. But you have everything though.
Yeah.
And a lot of everything.
Yeah.
But you just didn't like overdo it. I love it.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
I know. I'm really trying to, even this is too much for me. This is an overwhelming amount of makeup. Like
it is a lot of makeup.
I feel like I could downsize again.
For sure.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, it's so well organized. Love all the labeling.
Yeah.
It makes me happy too, because I love organization as well.
Yeah.
I just don't have as good of a system as you do.
Oh, thank you.
So I'm getting inspired here.
Oh, okay. Alright, so for nose contouring, what I normally like to use is the Hoola bronzer. And I like to take a little small fluffy brush. I'm going to just lightly take a little bit of product, and I always kind of dust it off at the edge. And then I normally start up at the top of the nose here. You always want to make sure when you're looking at the nose that you're wanting to match it up with the most narrow part. So here is her most narrow part, and then we're going to bring that all the way down, and you want to make sure the lines are parallel and that you're not coming too wide or anything like that. So I'm just going to follow her natural shape here. She has a really tiny nose already. We just want to define it again. So just like that. So just really with a light hand, go in with the bronzer, and then we kind of taper it off at the end. And then what I like to do afterwards is take a clean sponge, and I like to just lightly blend that out. Just so you don't have any harsh edges and it's very diffused. All right, perfect. And so from there, I like to take a little bit of highlight. I like to highlight the nose as well. So I'm just using a little bit of the Hyper Real Glow from MAC, and I'm taking a fluffy brush, and I'm just highlighting a little bit of the tip of the nose, and then right in between the eyebrows. And this should bring all these areas forward a little bit more. Okay, and I did a little bit on the Cupid's bow as well. Awesome. Other areas on the face that I like to highlight, just gonna clean up this brush. I like to take a little bit of this one here and look forward. I like to highlight the inner corner. So these are some areas that I do last because with all the darker shadows and things that I work with, sometimes this area can kind of get lost after a while if you do it first. Okay. Okay, just like so. And then I'll just use whatever's left on my brush and just for a little bit of the brow highlight. Alright, perfect. Okay, so now for the under eyes. So I'm gonna add a little bit of these two colors here. This one's Hoax and Sketch. It's the burgundy palette from MAC. And I like to take a pencil brush with both of those colors, tap off any excess, and I just bring it right, I start at the outer corner of the lower lash line, and I just go back and forth until everything's fully blended. Now whatever is left on my brush, that's when I start to bring it down a little bit. And I blend out any of the harsh edge that tends to happen around the bottom there. Look straight. Perfect. So that just brings everything in together. And I'm going to do that on the other side. And then look straight. So her eyes look really sultry and smoky. And this will stand out and translate really well on camera as well. So. Okay, so we're done that part. Now, time for mascara. Okay, so what I like to use for mascara is the good old Great Lash. This is what I use on all my clients. This is the only mascara I've ever used. And what I like to do is I like to use a fan brush. This is the 205 from MAC. And I just take a little bit of this on here. And then I'll just do this the one time only, and then that's it. Okay, so from there, chin down a little bit and eyes up to the ceiling. And then what I like about this brush is that you can get as close to the lash line with the mascara, so you're getting every single hair, and it just coats them really thick. Versus using a disposable wand, which I used to use for such a long time. And now I just use this brush, and I can sanitize them, and it's just a lot easier for me. And I just have a couple of these in my kit, and I love them. Okay, look straight. Yeah, that's gorgeous. Especially on someone who has really fair hairs, sometimes you think that they have really short lashes until you apply the mascara, and this will literally get every single one. So even those hard to reach ones at the outer corner, the ones I'm getting right now. Okay, look straight. Yeah, perfect. So now I'm gonna get you chin up, and then look down at the floor. And I like to lift the lid and then coat just a little bit underneath. So I don't like to coat all the way to the tip of the lash just because it creates a little bit of a chunkiness at the end of the lash. I like them to look very tapered and feathery still, so that's why I just wiggle it at the base and then I kind of bring it up. Look straight, and then look down. And sometimes I'll curl the lashes, but for this I feel like they are curled enough, so look straight again. Gorgeous. Love, love, love. Okay, awesome. Okay, so we're done that part. And now we're going to finish off with the lips. And for her lips today, I want to just still keep it pretty neutral. So I'm going to do a nude that's usually like my go-to. This is a combo I've been loving for a little while now. I love these NYX lip liners. This is the one in Natural. And as you can see, it's getting very, very short now. And then I'm gonna go in with, I always mix a couple of shades. So I have a bunch of lipsticks in this palette. So I'm gonna mix in a little bit of Faux and Cream Cup, or something along those lines. So I'm gonna shape her lips a little bit. She has her nice full bottom lip. I just wanna bring the upper lip a little bit higher up. So how I do that is I like to start off at the Cupid's bone. and I build up each edge first, and then I come up and above the natural lip line. And then what I do is I kind of fill in the outer edge a little bit, just like so. And then turn towards me a little bit. Okay. And then I do the bottom as well. So when I do the bottom, I come from above, and then I do the lip liner back and forth on the bottom as I want to establish like a kind of like a flat or a curved line. I find that when I do it upside down, I can really see the edges happening instead of me kind of coming here, because I don't know usually how far it'll come down. So I always kind of come up here. So now that we have her liner on, her lip pencil on, we're gonna go in with a little bit of faux. And this is just from MAC, and I'm using the 228 brush. And I'm just gonna go all over her lip with this color. And I love this brush just because you can blend out the colors really well. Let's say if you're mixing, you can just, it's small enough to just apply just colors right into the center of the lip, or if you're doing liquid lipsticks, it's easy to kind of carve out colors as well. So that's why this is my go-to brush for lips. Okay, so from there, I'm going to go in with a little bit of Blankety. And this is what we're going to use to create some dimension on our lip. So I'm going to only use this into the center of the lip here. And then whatever is left on my brush, I'll go onto the center of the top lip and then just blend everything out. So I don't want to bring that to the outer edges just because I want the center to be a little bit fuller. And then after we are done with the center color, we're going to go in with this shade. This is a really great layering lip paint or lip gloss. It's Hella from the Tarte lip paints. These are really good because they're super, super pigmented. And then I'm just gonna go and apply that right onto the center as well. So that is the final look.
Oh my goodness, she's so good at what she does. Love how this look turned out. If you guys like this video, make sure you give it a thumbs up and hit the subscribe button.